Now let's understand about some of the points related to interface. A class can implement more than one interface at a time. Means you can have a class which implements more interfaces and separated by comma, you can do that. So that is how we say that it can implement multiple inheritance. Okay. A class can extends only one class but implement many interface. That's fine. uh, an interface can extend another interface in a similar way as a class can extend another class. Okay. So let's see one example how you extend the interface. We'll say have the same example. So there is an interface sports. Let's create it. I'm closing this. I'm closing this also. Closing this also. And let's create one interface. New interface, the name is sports. Finish. And the interface, what we have two, let's say, method, this two, and we'll say abstract method, right? So there are two methods, set home team, set visiting team. So whenever there is a sports or some championship, right, there are at least two team will be there. One is the home team and one is the visiting team. Let's see, it's like this. And then let's take that there is one more football interface. So what does that mean? You can have another interface which is football. So creating another interface, I'll say football finishes. But here I'm saying it extends uh, sports. Great. When I'm doing this, there is no error. Football, which is itself one interface, is extending sports. So it's possible. And there is no error. It's not saying that you have to implement your parents' function, nothing like that. So I'm copying this three more functions here, putting it here, and how it is in the football game. There will be home team, how much it is scored, the visiting team, how much it is scored, and end of quarter, something like that. Some integer value it is accepting. Great, fine. So we have created two things. One is sports, which is interface. It's like this. And then football, which is again extending sports and it has its own functions. Great. Now we are creating one more interface, hockey. But hockey will have, you know, its own thing. So hockey is different from football. Hockey is different from football, right? So it can have its own thing. So I'm creating one more interface, which is has the name hockey. And when I'm saying hockey here, I can say I want to extend sports. That's fine. If that is possible. Let me, yeah. So I'll say hockey extends sports. It's fine. And hockey will have its own methods. Let's say home goal is scored, visiting goal. So we'll say goal right here and end of period, overtime period. So I'm not going into that. What are the functions here? The thing is you may have your own functions, right? So football and hockey, both are interface and it is extending sports interface. But what is what is different here is, let's take whenever there is a class, whenever there is a class which will, let's create it. They have not made it, we will do it. Okay, let's see in the next page. No, they have not mentioned it, so we will create it. So let's understand now that Now we will create a class. Let's create it. We'll create a class hockey match, something like this. So that all the rules will be there. So we'll create, uh, let's create first football match. Football match. That's it. It's a class which will have some main function also. Done. But here I want to say that football match extend, extends, not extends, implements. We cannot say extends. You want to implement football. Football. But there is error. It's saying that uh, you have to create the unimplemented functions, right? So set home team, you have to set all these things, right? About the particular match. So this is the way you have to do it. Here you can set as per your own thing, right? So here you can print, let me do it. So I'll say system.out.println home team is equal to plus sign, whatever you will pass here, right? So name, that is name here, fine. Same thing for visiting team, correct? So copy this, we'll put it here. So visiting team, home team scored, visiting team scored. So have you observed one thing? Have you observed that in the football interface, there is just three methods: home team, visiting team, scored, and end of quarter. But it is asking us to implement two more functions, which is this: set home team and set visiting team also, right? So in the hierarchy, what is happening? Football match is implementing football, but football is extending sports, right, in turn. So it will ask all the method which is there in sports also to be set. So that's why these two method which is there in as an abstract method in sports, right, we are now implementing that part also. Now home team is scored, so you have to put any score you are putting, right? So here let's say I'm saying, I will just say, let's say, home team score is equals to points. Fine. Same way for the visiting team score. So there it will be, let's say, visiting team score, visiting team score, and end of quarter. I don't know what to do here, but let's print it only. Let's print something. Quarter end is equals to quarter, something like this. We'll say maybe at the end of the quarter, what is the score? Something like this. Or what is the point, right? It's like this. Or at what time it happens, something like this. Even I don't know what it is. But there is a function. It's very simple. Done. Now, if I want to call all these functions, what I can do, I can create the object of this. So I'll create, or you can use the interface reference. That is the better way. Okay. So here you will say, because the game is football, right? So you'll say football FB1 is equals to New football match. It's like this. And then you can set the things. So you want to say that, sorry, fb1 dot, you have to set everything, right? So you'll say set home team. So let's say home team is Brazil. Okay. And then you want to say fb1 dot set visiting team. Let's say that is a Spain. I'm writing some, random thing. Don't worry about this. And other functions. So whatever you want to do. So fb1 dot, if it will show you all the functions which you can call. So score, where is home team is scored? So home team is scored, let's say 3. And fb1 dot visiting team scored 5, something like this. That's it. So when I run this, uh, it is printing me all these things. Right? What we have done, let's create a picture of it. What we have done, and opening Paint, and I'll show you what we have done till now, is going back to the program. We have created one sports interface. Okay, where is that? Sports. Fine. Let's close all these things one by one. We will see. We have created one sports interface. Fine. The interface name is sports. Okay. Here, there is sports, which is one interface. You have to remember that this is interface, right? Sports. And when we say interface, it will have only two functions. Let's assume that there are two functions. For any sports, there will be two things, home team and visiting team. Fine. But rest of the things will be decided by a particular sports. So we don't want to say that who will be the home team, who will be the visiting team, how that will work, nothing like that. So whatever you will pass, it will be set as home team and all, right? We'll print it. It's like this as of now. Now there is another interface, which is, let's say, football, right? So here we'll say football, one interface, which is football. So football is actually extending. Football is actually extending sports. Okay. Is a type of, right? Football is a type of sports. Now, and this sport is like generic thing. Any sport will have home team and visiting team. It's like this. Any sport. Then football is a type of sports. So in now, especially in the football, again, you can define something like whenever there is football thing, there will always be score part, right? Like how much the home team will score, right? And those things. So I'm not writing everything. Let's understand there will be home team score and other things. Fine. That's it. But now the real class. So see, whenever you're doing something, that will happen through the class only. That will happen through the class. Now you have class. Now you have your own class. So these are the interfaces, but now you have class, which is, let's say, football match. Here, we'll say football match. Okay. And this football match is actually implements football. But football in turn has already some rules related to sports. It's like this. So when you are implementing a football match, you have to follow both the things. You have to follow uh, both the things related to sports and related to football. It's like this. So when you're implementing it, it's like you are capturing both the things. Okay. It's like this. So here, when one interface implements and this football interface implements sports, here you have to use extends. But here, when you're saying one class, this is my class, which is football match. Now you will say implements. So you are implementing this only. You're not implementing sports. But the thing is, football is extending sports. So all the functions which you have in football and which you have in sports, all those you have to define for a football match. Okay. So let me write it here. All abstract method will be defined in this class. I looks like this. So in a way, we achieved what we say abstraction, because football match, right? It will inherently has the things which are related to sports. But when you are implementing it, did I say that I'm extending it? So let's see, football match is implementing football only, right? But football has sports rule also. It's like this. Okay. So when you are um, football match, when you are defining it as a class, if you see here, all the functions which are there in sports are also, you have to define properly, right? It's like this. And when you are creating the object, see here, we are saying football FB1 is equals to new football match. Though you can say football match is equal, FB1 is equals to new football match also, that is also fine. But what it says, when you are writing it like this, what does this mean? It means that you are creating the object of football match, means every time there will be a new match. Every time, see, you can create as many matches, correct? This is just one match between Brazil and Spain. You can create as many matches, but basically what we are saying here is, basically it all comes under football part. It's like this. It will follow all the rules which is related to football. Got it? So this is how interface works. So in Selenium also, so you can relate it with if you have worked on it. What we write in Selenium is driver is equals to new Chrome driver. Something like this we write. Right? So what it is, it's saying that you are creating object of Chrome. That's fine. But it will follow all the rules which is there in WebDriver interface. It's like this. It will follow all the uh, necessary functions of driver, like finding a function, closing the instance of any browser, those things. That's why you can relate it with WebDriver interface. When you understand the whole concept of interface, you can understand that how, why we say WebDriver driver is equals to new Chrome driver, or WebDriver driver is equals to new Firefox driver. So that means there can be different type of browser drivers, but all these will follow similar rule, which is presented by one interface. It's like that. They can have their own way of implementation of different functions. So for example, here, football match, they can set their own thing, like how the scoring will happen, how the rules of, showing the yellow card or red card is there. They can create their own way, right? For a football match, there may be like, let's say, local football match, maybe the rules will be different, or when there is an international football match, the rules will be different, correct? Maybe it may happen, right? So for example, cricket match in T20, right? 2020 over game, the rules are different. When there is a one-day international, it is one-day game, 50 over game, so rules are different. And then when you have test match, the rules are different. So you may define your own thing. You have to implement the things on your own way, but basically that is a particular kind of game, right? So that will be interface, which will say there will be at least these many rules which you have to follow. It's like this. So this will be at least thing which you have to follow. You can implement on your own way, but these will be there. It's like this. So this is how interfaces work. That's it for today.